It's understandable that most devotees don't know very much about the philosophical debates regarding environmental issues. The media generally broadcasts issues in terms of politics, economics, science, and technology, not philosophy. However, there are significant philosophical discussions going on behind the scenes, and many intelligent people are aware of the philosophical side of the issues.
So I work in environmental philosophy. This field's been around 30, 40 years. And so environmental ethics began with an investigation of whether there are moral rights or moral values embedded in things like redwood trees or wolves or clematis plants. It's a young field, but there's been a sea change in the last 5 or 10 years because we don't have nature anymore that is untouched or uninfluenced.
Devotees of Krishna are often religious philosophers, so some of them should take note of the issues from a philosophical perspective. Unfortunately, what is lamentable, in my opinion, is that very little of significance is coming from devotee scholars, except perhaps Professor David Haberman, who is Radharaman, Ranchor Prime, and one or two others. In a recent paper, Professor Simon Halewood observed that philosophers are increasingly taking a critical look at how anthropocentrism, or human centrism, shapes Western culture, its religions, politics, economics, commerce, sciences, and technologies.
In Western science and Western philosophy, even in Western religions, we have always considered human beings as the masters of the earth. We think that all our natural world, all our forests and rivers, all our earth and animals are for us. They are ours, and we can use them for our benefit.
What does this mean for devotees?
ईशावास्यमिदं सर्वं यत्किञ्चित् जगत्यां जगत् तेन त्यक्तेन भुञ्जेथ मा गृधः कस्य स्वेद्धनम्.
Simply, Vaishnavas represent a culture that is not anthropocentric, not human-centric. Thus, those who view anthropocentrism as the enemy, among them atheists, feminists, anarchists, left-wing and right-wing activists and scholars, must take a look at the Vaishnava culture as a viable solution to environmental problems. In a sense, they are almost required to do so. Of course, not all will seriously consider accepting a God-centered or Vishnu-Krishna-centered solution. However, the current environmental situation has caused many intellectuals and other serious-minded persons to look at alternatives to modern culture, which is anthropocentric. This phenomenon is like nothing we've experienced since the 1970s. In the 1970s, in the West, there was a counterculture characterized by drugs, sex, and irresponsibility that prompted many to adopt new religions. Many young people became devotees during that counterculture period. Today, a cultural shift is starting that does not involve such licentious behavior. Instead, people are taking a serious look at the underlying thinking of modern culture. Not to get high, but to behave responsibly toward the environment. That means we have a greater opportunity to recruit new devotees now than in the 1970s. If you read the environmental literature carefully and objectively, you'll find that Vaishnava culture qualifies as a candidate. I'm not saying that it qualifies only in the minds of devotees. I'm saying that it qualifies according to the criteria of many environmental philosophers.
We see the landscape, the animals, humans, everything as interrelated. Eastern thought has Zen Buddhism and so on. One of the legacies of Zen Buddhism when it was introduced into America was to see things in terms of process and interrelatedness.
What is the problem then? Why are they not looking at us? It's because they tend to look at Buddhism, Jainism, Native American religion, and other cultures. we need to call attention to Vaishnava culture. Thank you for watching.